Okay. So I'm really excited to be here and to tell you a little bit about what our team has been working on with the mission of allowing teachers to teach with AI superpowers. So first of all, a little bit about where the journey started. On November 30th, that was when ChatGPT came out. And I reached out to my high school teachers. We were all really astonished by what it could do. And then that turned to concern. And we found that echoed in mainstream media when articles like The End of High School English came out. So Mr. Burwhite teaches English, Ms. Crowley teaches European history and US history, and Mr. Huff teaches US history and economics. So that was our starting point for figuring out, hey, there have been a lot of technological revolutions, whether it was industrial or the internet and now AI. And really the goal is to maximize the good. And how can we do that for teachers? So the question is, which of the challenges that teachers face can be addressed with AI? And I talked to a lot of teachers and kind of a lot of things came up, things that, of course, you guys have thought about, creating lessons. There's, of course, the concern around cheating. But I think that what really stood out was the feedback piece. And it was funny because the AI is actually uniquely good at giving feedback across 3 points. It's good at personalizing feedback, it's instantaneous, and it has infinite patience. And so that's where we decided to start. We were like, hey, if we can do one thing well, how can we give feedback that is actually useful to students? So our guiding principle was, because of time, I can't give the detailed feedback I want to give, and I have to find workarounds. So of course, at risk of preaching to the choir, these are the things that resonated with us the most, which is I teach 25 more students this year. I have kids now, not like when I first started teaching. I'd give more practice if I had time to respond. With 150 students, I set a timer for 5 minutes per assignment when I grade. I use multiple choice because it's fast. Or I used to do feedback after outlines and rough drafts, and now I go straight to the final draft. So at this point, I reached out to some of my friends who are engineers, and we decided to kind of build a prototype. And we were really excited to launch this in March. It was a soft launch, and we should be very open that there is a lot of room for improvement. But at the core, this is what the tool can do today. As a teacher, you would join, and you can invite your students. You can use our built-in assignments or create your own. And then you can choose from short answer or essay style assignments. And for essays, we also can process handwritten essays. And then you can override the AI feedback and have the final say. It's very important that you're in control of what feedback is appropriate. And students can also initiate a dispute if they disagree with what the AI said. All right, so with that, I'm going to show a brief video of how Class Companion works. And also, if people have questions, feel free to submit a form or reach out to me afterwards. So I'll click this link here. Hope it works.
One of 2 ways.
Oops.
Here we go. As a teacher, I can start an assignment in one of 2 ways. I can either create my own, or I can use the built-in library of assignments that comes with Class Companion. So here I filtered for AP US history and short answers with a stimulus. I can then go and search for the assignment that I want to send my student.
Pause clarification. I just switched from the teacher view of the application to now the student view.
Student, I can easily toggle to see what my teachers have assigned that's incomplete. So I'll start by working on my short answer assignment here. I'm reading the excerpt, looking at these questions, and I'll type my response. It looks like I haven't answered the question fully, and it's true that according to AP standards, this is not a sufficient explanation. This is an example of productive feedback, and I can see how my grade is being tracked on the side here. I'd like to also show you what it looks like to complete an essay in Class Companion. So here is what's called a long essay question following AP format. So I'll work on typing this essay and then show you what it's like to get the AI's feedback.
Avery, can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Yes.
So Peter is asking if you can ask him to unmute. And now that you're the webinar host, you have the power.
What? No.
Okay, I thought maybe you had a question. I'm sorry.
No.
So I'm just checking up on my phone and I'm getting maybe some late texts. I apologize for interrupting you, Avery. You may now go back to your regularly scheduled programming.
All good.
So now my AI feedback has come back, and you can see that this is a poorly written essay. The AI says your essay is missing a clear thesis statement that directly answers the prompt. To improve, make sure to include a thesis in the first paragraph that addresses the causes of the rise of capitalism. For example, you could write the rise of industrial capitalism from 1865 to 1900 was driven by factors such as technological advancements, urbanization, and political changes. That's a concrete suggestion that gives me a starting point if I were to revise this essay and improve my work. Back in the Teacher app, I can go to the Submissions tab to see all the work that my students have completed. So here we have a dot notifying me that this student has just completed a short answer. I can see the full history of the chat between the student and the AI, and I can expand and see the feedback from the AI. In particular, I could actually override the grade if I believe that the student deserves different feedback than what the AI gave.
Okay, so that was the video. I didn't show one thing there, which was, I guess here you can see one status, it says settled. So when it says status is settled, it means that the student initiated a dispute, the teacher saw that, and then the teacher kind of comes in and adjudicates that situation. Also show part of a video for how to create your assignment. I'm not going to show the whole video at risk of going over time, but I feel like this is very important because it's nice to be able to bring in your own content.
How to create your own assignments. So you want to start here in the assignment library and click on Create My Own. Now, I'm first going to show you how to create a short answer question, and then we'll create a long essay question, which is simpler. So for the name of the assignment, let me pull it up here. I'll just call it FDR's speech for simplicity. The subject would be AP US History, and I'm just going to choose a random topic and learning objective for now. By the way, we're making these fields optional going forwards because we've heard some teachers say that they don't always want to have to be forced to choose these categorizations.
And yes, it's supposed to be called unit and topic, and we have fixed that. I apologize.
And then here, I'm actually going to create a short answer question with stimulus. Now, if I check this box and add to public library, I'll allow other teachers to see and use my assignment. We really welcome content creators and people to contribute to our library, but of course, there's no need to do this if you don't want to. All right, so now I'm going to fill in the details of the question. So here is some introduction, which is completely optional and is only meant to help your student basically orient themselves to the question. And I'm actually going to copy in an excerpt from FDR's inaugural address here. Great. And now I'm going to add some questions. Brief note is you do not have to add numbering to the questions. That will be done automatically. So here's my first question. And I'm going to go and pick up my second one. Another side note is that when you add questions or when you change this page, it's automatically saved. So you can see this status update last saved now. And I'll add my third question. All right. Next. Now I get to preview the question. This is what the student will see. And it's just a great way to make sure that all the formatting is correct. numbering is appearing here. And for the sake of time, I won't answer this question, but you can do it yourself here just to almost taste test your problem.
Okay, I'm going to pause the video there. When you join Class Companion, there are some demo videos, including that one, that you can view as well.
Avery, is that a new function there, the ability to create the questions? Or
No, it was actually there all along.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess we need to highlight better. But yeah, so when you're in the assignment library here, it's this button. And then, yeah, so we're working on improving making some of the features a little bit more obvious and clear.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, so yeah, let me go on to the next slide here. Just to give you a brief overview, right? So how do we approach the AI feedback? First of all, we are focused on formative assessment, and I want to be very clear with that. So for short answer, we really have the AI check that it's an explanation, not just a mention. And then of course we check for factual accuracy. We are very inspired by the AP short answer question and free response question format. It's because there are just clear standards and also it's a standardized curriculum. But in the future, we would love to have more degrees of freedom if teachers would like to customize their own criteria for how to give feedback. And then for the essay right now, it's very much oriented, as you saw, around the long essay question, again, inspired by the AP exams. And the suggestions include how to improve the thesis, contextualization, evidence, and analysis. So we've launched, it's been 2 months, I guess, since we launched, and we're really glad to say that teachers and students are enthusiastic. This is one teacher, Carla, writing into our support, and she's just saying that, hey, I have 37 students, and there is no way I can give them feedback the feedback they need as quickly as AI can. I think over the last few months, we've been focusing on all the ways that AI is going to help students cheat. So it's very, very cool to have an application of AI that's going to help teachers be better at what we do. So yay. My students were really geeked out today. They loved the immediate affirmation and suggestions. It was cool because I still had to walk around and help them think through how to fix the mistakes the program was telling them they had. So it was a great addition to my class. And what's also really cool is teachers use Class Companion in their own way. And I want to share some of the ways that they do this, and we'll hear soon from Bruno. So one way they use it is in class to check for reading comprehension, or to kick off a group discussion, or as a checkout quiz, or kind of, like your exit ticket. Some teachers have also used it at home for practice, preview, and review, because there's like no additional time that you have to spend. You can just let your students have at it. And this especially came in useful before AP test prep. And then also some teachers have used it in tutorials. So as a conversation starter, especially if there happens to be a dispute from the student on the AI's feedback. And then also, I think as a teacher, you get more data points, right? Because as your student has practiced more, so you get more insights, and that informs individual guidance. I'd like to, at this point, kind of bring in our values and mission that really guide me and the team, which is we really believe that our education system is the foundation for our democracy. And young people need to learn how to think for themselves as they enter into an ever more complex world of ideas and more AI content floating out on the internet. And we believe that strengthening the relationship between teachers and students is the place to start. So we are on a mission to give teachers superpowers, because every teacher, and of course, you guys, this is my I'm telling you guys, but obviously you guys know what's best for students, but you confront the 24 hours in the day. And so we want to help you focus on the best parts of teaching. So with that, I would like to end with saying that everything that you've seen so far really came together with the feedback and constant ideas and brainstorming of teachers like you. And I want to give a special shout out to Bruno, Jeff, Peter, Tom, and many others for their suggestions on how we can improve. I've been super appreciative, and it's the most fun part of my job.